News anchors are trained to stay calm, but even the strongest voices can break when reality strikes.
Administration officials have been sending babies and other young children. Hold on.
Whether it's a national tragedy, the shock of an unexpected loss, or the weight of reporting an event that changed the world.
We'll get into a political conversation later, but is this the way we're supposed to live?
Here are the unbelievable times when reporters broke the news no one was prepared for.
It's really hard to take.
Sometimes news gets too heavy, even for seasoned anchors. That's what happened in 2018 when Rachel Maddow tried reporting on the U.S. policy separating migrant children from their parents at the border. As she read the line, 3 tender-age shelters set up for babies and toddlers, her voice cracked. Then silence. She looked down, fighting tears, and walked off air.
Administration officials have been sending babies and other young children. Hold on.
That wasn't a slip-up. That was real emotion. In real time, Rachel showed the world that even behind the camera, some stories just break you. And in that moment, millions cried with her.
Lawyers and medical providers. Just think I'm gonna have to hand this off. Yeah.
Trump admin fainted.
Yeah, it wasn't sexism. There was actually no mention from the Trump campaign about her.
Cameron Kinsey was right in the middle of a live Fox News segment, tossing around political topics like any other day, when things suddenly took a turn. Out of nowhere, she lost her footing and collapsed mid-conversation, leaving everyone watching in total shock.
It's not about.
Oh my goodness. We're just gonna get some help here.
The studio crew jumped in instantly, making sure she was okay. Moments like these remind us that even seasoned pros are still human. Whether it's the weight of the news or just the pace of the job, sometimes it all catches up. Thankfully, she was all right, but viewers definitely weren't expecting that kind of plot twist on live TV.
It's not about.
Oh my goodness. We're just gonna get some help here.
Emotional farewell.
Look, this is not an easy announcement to make, but after 21 years almost with the Fox 5 family, the time has come for me to say goodbye and, most importantly, a heartfelt thank you.
After 21 years of delivering the news with grace and heart, Allison Seymour gave her emotional farewell on Fox 5. As she stood on air for her final broadcast, the weight of the moment was impossible to ignore. Her voice wavered, and the tears welled up as she thanked her colleagues and viewers. It wasn't just a goodbye, it was a reflection on 2 decades of hard work, memories, and connections.
While you were here is something that we will strive to keep up every single day. So you are gone, but you will never be forgotten.
Anchor fainted.
News for the Obama administration. We have this new CNN ORC poll, which is quite a turnaround in
CNN anchor Poppy Harlow was delivering a live news segment when something unexpected happened. She suddenly paused, slurred a few words, and the screen cut away. Viewers were left confused and worried. Moments later, she returned, calm but honest. She had briefly lost consciousness. Turns out, it was just due to being a bit too warm in the studio.
got a little hot and I passed out for a moment. I am fine. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Emotional farewell. During a live segment on Fox News is Outnumbered, anchor Harris Faulkner found herself overcome with emotion while covering a deeply moving situation from Uvalde, Texas. As co-host Kayleigh McEnany shared a comforting verse that Harris had sent earlier, the moment simply hit too close to home. Faulkner paused, holding back tears, and gently apologized, saying it was something weighing heavily on her heart. She hoped the words they shared might bring even a little comfort to viewers watching. It was a rare on-air moment, showing just how much anchors carry with them behind the scenes.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it is. Marissa being a mother too, Megan and Heather, I do, amidst the tragedy, your parents as well, Jessica included.
Buffalo incident. In May 2022, Victor Blackwell took the anchor desk with a heavy heart after the events in Buffalo.
We keep having the conversation about Democrats will say guns, Republicans will say mental health, and nothing will change. And I'll probably do another one this year.
As he shared the details of what had happened, his emotions were impossible to hide. His voice wavered as he expressed frustration. Nothing will change. It was raw, real, and natural. Blackwell didn't just report the news, he voiced the sorrow of a community. His heartfelt words brought a much-needed moment of honesty and humanity during a time of deep distress.
We'll get into a political conversation later, but is this the way we're supposed to live? Have we just resigned that this is what we are going to be? I'm gonna give it back to you.
Space shuttle incident.
It has been a bad day. 7 astronauts have their families shattered. The space program has been dealt a terrible blow.
February 1st, 2003. What began as a routine morning turned into something really strange. Peter Jennings, a trusted face on ABC, was the one who had to deliver the news. Space Shuttle Columbia had disintegrated during re-entry. 7 astronauts were gone in seconds, and Peter's voice carried the weight of that incident. Calm, respectful, and deeply human, he didn't just give updates, he gave us comfort. He paused, he sighed, and the nation felt it too. That moment reminded us all, news anchors aren't just storytellers, they're witnesses to history. JFK case.
From Dallas, Texas, the flash, apparently official, President Kennedy at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time.
November 22nd, 1963. The world was forever changed. CBS's Walter Cronkite sat at the anchor desk just moments after President John F. Kennedy passed. He paused, then, with deep sadness in his voice, he gave the nation the news no one wanted to hear. From Dallas, Texas. The flash, apparently official, President Kennedy left everyone at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. As the words left his lips, Cronkite's glasses fogged up, tears in his eyes. It wasn't just news, it was a loss. And for a country in shock, Cronkite became the
2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, some 38 minutes ago.
Princess Diana.
That Diana, Princess of Wales, has in fact been in that car accident.
August 31st, 1997. The world woke up to shocking news. Kay Burley was on Sky News when she had to announce that Princess Diana, beloved by many, had been involved in a devastating car incident. Kay's calm voice couldn't hide the weight of the moment. She struggled to keep her composure as she delivered the heartbreaking news. It was a moment that felt surreal, not just for the nation, but for Kay too. Having to share such heavy news live, she became the voice for a grieving world, telling us that sometimes even the strongest anchors are deeply affected by what they report.
There's confirmation that Diana, Princess of Wales, she at 4 a.m. after going into cardiac arrest. That, according to doctors at the hospital in Paris, Diana, Princess of Wales is
COVID-19. April 2020, and the world was facing a crisis unlike any other. CNN correspondent had to report on the devastating effects of COVID-19, particularly on Black and Latino communities. As she spoke, the weight of the story hit her hard.
I apologize. I'm gonna try to get through this.
Her voice broke, and she struggled to hold back tears. This wasn't just statistics. It was personal.
This is the 10th hospital that I have been in, and to see the way that these families have to live after this.
She saw the pain firsthand. and it was impossible to remain unaffected. In that emotional moment, she reminded us that behind every report, there's a real human cost.
It's really hard to take.
Lindsay Leapman.
I simply can't get through the newscast tonight, and I hope you understand.
Check out this heart-wrenching moment for Lindsay Leapman on KCN TV when she had to announce the sudden passing of her co-anchor, Chris Radcliffe, at just 51. Lindsay's voice quivered as she struggled to hold it together, knowing the news would shock not just the viewers, but the entire community. She paused, visibly emotional, before sharing the loss with the world. Her raw emotion reminded us all that anchors aren't just voices, they're people too, experiencing the same grief we do.
It's a true loss for our community, his family, and I know that he touched so many of your lives in a positive way.
Ferry incident. During a live broadcast, South Korea's president stood before the nation, reflecting on the heartbreaking ferry incident that impacted so many families. As she spoke about the situation and the response efforts, her voice cracked and emotions took over. The president's tearful moment wasn't just about the news. It was about connecting with the people, showing empathy, and taking responsibility in a deeply human way. Pakistani anchor. While reporting live, Pakistani anchor Farwa Waheed became visibly emotional while explaining the heartbreaking scenes of the recent conflict, as she described the impact on innocent lives, especially the loss involving women and children. Her voice cracked until she finally broke into tears. She tried to stay strong, but the human side took over. And honestly, it's hard not to feel something when you're reporting on such suffering. Brave anchor. While most of us would hit the panic button at the slightest tremor, this Pakistani news anchor showed nerves of steel. During a live broadcast, a powerful 6.6 magnitude earthquake shook the entire studio. Lights, cameras, everything swayed. But guess what? He didn't flinch. He stayed focused, kept delivering the news like nothing happened. The clip went viral, and people everywhere were amazed at her calm under pressure. Andy Cohen shocked. Andy Cohen's had wild interviews on Watch What Happens Live, but this one took a slippery turn. Literally, while chatting with actress Connie Britton about her proud mom moment, Andy accidentally bumped his drink off the table.
My proudest moment to date of my son.
Oh my God. No!
The glass hit the floor, splashing ice and liquid across the rug, nearly hitting Connie's legs. Andy froze for a second, then blurted out, "So sorry." It was his first slip-up like that in 15 years.
What does it mean?
First time in 15 years that I've ever spilled a drink.
But hey, it made the moment unforgettable and a little more real for all of us watching.
No, don't make a face. I'm gonna clean the ice up.
Go home with cars, right?
No, but tell me about it.
Live awkward moment.
Probably did something for the weekend.
I did.
Well, didn't you?
We
Yeah.
presented it together.
Did we? Oh.
On Sunday brunch, Channel 4's host had a seriously awkward moment when he totally forgot his guest's name, and they were co-hosting together. Yeah, you read that right. He tried to play it cool, continuing the show like nothing happened, but you could feel the tension. Luckily, his co-star was in on the joke, cracking up while everyone watched this little live TV disaster unfold.
That's true. And Soccer AM, you were on that a lot as well.
Yes. That's
So-
going back 20 years.
Yeah.
Heartbreak Live. In 2014, longtime WFAA anchor Gloria Campos was live on air when a surprise guest walked in 14-year-old Keontae, a boy she'd featured years earlier as a Wednesday's child. After a failed adoption, Gloria had told his story again, hoping to give him another shot at finding a home. That second report worked. He found the right family. But as Keontae thanked her live, emotions hit hard. Gloria broke down, not from bad news, but from the weight of hope, heartbreak, and finally, joy unfolding live on TV. Matt Lauer's firing.
Just moments ago, NBC News Chairman Andy Lack sent the following note to our organization. Dear colleagues, on Monday night, we received a detailed complaint from a colleague about inappropriate behavior in the workplace by Matt Lauer.
When Hoda Kotb had to break the news of Matt Lauer's firing on Today, it wasn't your usual news flash.
It represented, after serious review, a clear violation of our company's standards. As a result, we have decided to terminate his employment.
You could see it in her face. This wasn't just another headline. It was personal. Hoda, with her longtime friend and co-anchor gone, had to deliver the news to millions. The news was shocking, as Matt had been a beloved fixture on the show for years. But it was more than just another shakeup. It was about allegations that had surfaced, leading to his sudden departure. You could feel the weight of the moment. Even though she kept it together, it was clear. This one hit close to home. Talk about a tough day at the office, right?
We just learned this moments ago, just this morning. As I'm sure you can imagine, we are devastated and we are still processing all of this. And I will tell you right now, we do not know more than what I just shared with you.
Chaotic broadcast.
Okay, well, as you can probably tell, we have a fire alarm. You could probably tell that before we went into that report, but we still have a fire alarm here and we're not quite sure what to do about it.
Imagine breaking news in the middle of a broadcast, only to be interrupted by a loud fire alarm. That's exactly what happened during ITV's News at 10. As the alarm blared through the studio, presenter Tom Bradby had to pause the show, telling viewers, "I'm really sorry, but we have to evacuate the building."
Really sorry about this, but I'm afraid we have to evacuate the building. These things happen, and unfortunately it's happened tonight.
As chaos ensued, he assured everyone it was just a false alarm, and the broadcast resumed in under 10 minutes. Bradby later tweeted, "Words fail me," showing his disbelief at the surprising interruption. Talk about a news blooper.
And we have very little choice, so I really apologize. We'll get back to you with the rest of the program if we possibly can, but for now, it's good night.
On-air tears. During a live episode of Fox News' Outnumbered, Harris Faulkner found herself holding back tears while talking about a heartbreaking event at a Texas school. As co-host Kaylee McEnany gently read a comforting Bible verse Harris had shared the night before.
Matthew 19:14, but Jesus said, "Let little children come to me and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these."
The emotional weight of the moment hit her hard. She paused, saying it was truly hard watching people feel so helpless.
I had not heard my words read back, but that's all I had. And I was looking at what was in social media, and it was breaking my heart that people felt so hopeless.
Harris later apologized on air for getting emotional, explaining that it reminded her of a similar moment years ago. It was one of those live TV moments where feelings simply couldn't be held back.
I apologize for breaking down. I was on the air, Trace. I think we were on the air together. I said 26 dead on that day. Never again. Look at where we are.
Silent pause. Live from Paris, BBC reporter Graham Satchell stood near a memorial, sharing the story of the city coming together after a dark and difficult time. As he described the nightly vigils and the quiet hope filling the streets, his voice suddenly faltered. He paused, clearly overwhelmed by the moment. Trying to keep it together, he shared the deep feeling of resilience and unity he witnessed. It wasn't just a report, it was a heartfelt connection to the spirit of a city healing together.
So sorry.
Weathered emotions.
Incredible hurricane. It has dropped.
Florida meteorologist John Morales found himself holding back tears on live TV while reporting Hurricane Milton's explosive strength. As he explained how the storm had dropped 50 millibars in just 10 hours, a dramatic and dangerous shift. His voice cracked and emotion took over. He paused, then softly apologized, saying, "This is just horrific." Even as the broadcast switched to weather maps, his concern still echoed through every word. Morales later shared how climate extremes have deeply affected him as both a scientist and a person, urging viewers to pay attention. Sometimes the weather hits harder than expected, right in the heart.
It has dropped 50 millibars in 10 hours. I apologize. This is just horrific.
Oklahoma incident. Lance West was reporting live from Moore, Oklahoma, when nature's fury had just flipped life upside down. He was standing right outside a school, surrounded by wreckage, trying to hold it together. But as he spoke about what the storm had taken from this tight-knit town, his voice gave way. You could feel it. He wasn't just a reporter anymore. He was one of them. That's the thing about live news. Sometimes the story hits home harder than expected, and reporters like Lance show the world just how real it gets. He didn't just report it, he lived it, right there on air.
I've never seen anything like this in my 18 years covering tornadoes here in Oklahoma City. This is without question the most horrific.
First day. On the first day of school in Los Angeles, a reporter was chatting with a little pre-K kid. But when the questions started, the kid suddenly got overwhelmed and tears popped up. It wasn't about the camera. It was those big feelings that come with starting something brand new and a little scary. That moment showed how real and raw first days can be, even for the tiniest kids. Sometimes, a few tears say everything about new beginnings and growing up.
Are you gonna miss your mom?
No.
No? Oh, don't cry, are you?
CBS New York. Christine Johnson was live on CBS when she had to share the news. Something had gone terribly wrong in the East River involving a helicopter. As more details came in, she learned that 5 lives were lost. You could hear it in her voice. She was holding back tears, trying to stay strong. Her tone changed. Her eyes said it all. It wasn't just reporting the facts. It was real. It was heavy.
You can see here, divers are still working valiantly to recover.
Lonnie Quinn's emotional return. After nearly 2 months away, CBS New York's chief meteorologist Lonnie Quinn made a heartfelt return to the weather desk on May 5th, 2025. Following a traumatic brain injury in March, Quinn received a warm welcome from colleagues who greeted him with applause and a cake. During his broadcast, Quinn expressed deep gratitude for the support he received and emphasized the importance of taking head injuries seriously.
Missed you guys immensely, and I feel like I'm whole again. So thank you for everything.
Sandy Hook coverage.
You talk about the gun control issue, that Melissa really put her finger on the problem there. I mean, this is a circumstance that is very, very difficult to head off.
No script could have prepared reporters for this one. On what started as a regular December day, news anchors across the country were suddenly handed one of the hardest updates to read. As the Sandy Hook school incident unfolded, you could see it on their faces. They were holding back tears while trying to stay composed. Some paused mid-sentence, others just sat silent for a few seconds, letting it all sink in. Nasrallah's passing. In 2020, Lebanon's airwaves were filled with sorrow when a prominent leader, Hassan Nasrallah, was reported to have passed away. On live TV, the news anchor's voice trembled and tears filled her eyes as she shared the news. For her, this wasn't just a story. It was the end of a significant chapter for a nation in mourning. The streets of Lebanon were filled with grief, and the anchor, too, felt that loss deeply. She didn't just report the news, she felt it alongside millions of others. Allison Hammond.
It's going to be patchy rain over there. Get ready, guys. All right, come on.
In a fun, lighthearted moment, Allison Hammond made waves, literally. While filming for a show, she accidentally knocked a guy into the water. The look on his face was priceless, and the crowd couldn't stop laughing. Allison, known for her playful spirit, couldn't help but join in on the fun. Sometimes TV's unscripted moments steal the show, proving all that laughter's the best way to brighten any day.
Are you all right? Oh my God! Oh my God, you all right? I'm so sorry.
Hurricane Helene. During the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, Fox Weather's Jane Miner was overcome with emotion while reporting on the catastrophic flooding in Tennessee.
I can't imagine what that must be like not to have that to come back to. But
Sorry if I get emotional, but...
As Jane spoke about the devastation families faced, it was clear that the impact of this disaster hit her hard. In a rare moment of vulnerability, she apologized, saying, "Sorry, I get emotional." The incident was so overwhelming, and her heartfelt reporting captured the human side of the crisis.
Sorry if I get emotional, but I've seen a lot of scenes like this in rural areas.
Royal Update.
A few moments ago, Buckingham Palace announced of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
BBC's Hugh Edwards sat in silence for a few seconds, then finally shared what millions around the world had been dreading. His voice was steady, his face serious, but you could feel the weight of it. This wasn't just a news update. It was the end of an era. He kept it graceful, respectful, and calm, even though you could tell how much it hit him too. For a moment, time just stood still.
This statement, it says the Queen peacefully at Balmoral this afternoon.
Holding back. Sometimes the hardest part of the job isn't what you say, it's what you feel. CNN's Caitlin Collins tried to keep it together during a tough interview with a man who had just gone through something unthinkable. She listened as he shared his story, but the emotion hit her midway. Her eyes welled up, her voice softened. She paused, took a breath, but that lump in her throat was hard to hide. It wasn't about staying strong. It was about being human.
They deserve to be remembered. They deserve to have the story known to the world. I mean, I want people to have a memory of them so that they live on. So that's why I wanted to share their story.
Andrea Farewell.
I will be forever grateful to Phil Griffin and Yvette Miley, who launched the show, and Rashida Jones for her constant support over many years.
After nearly 2 decades at the helm of Andrea Mitchell Reports, the beloved anchor signed off with an emotional goodbye. Reflecting on her journey, she recalled traveling the globe, sharing powerful stories from places like Moscow, Beijing, and Baghdad. Andrea expressed her pride in mentoring young journalists, especially women, and her gratitude for her colleagues who helped make the show a success. Kristen Welker and others paid tribute to her, sharing heartfelt words about Andrea's impact on the journalism world. In a surprise moment, her team flooded the studio, bringing her to tears. Andrea promised to continue her work with NBC News, embracing a new chapter focused on deeper storytelling.
Thank you all. Thank you for this incredible surprise.
We love you, Andrea. We love you so much, Andrea.
That does it for this final edition of Andrea Mitchell Reports.
Joyful reveal.
Well, you've got some news that you wanted to share with
I have actually, yes.
Yeah. And it's amazing.
Yes, I am 4 months pregnant.
It was a moment of pure joy for Michelle Ackerley on BBC Morning Live. After years of fertility struggles, she got to share the happiest news of her life. She was expecting. As Michelle delivered the announcement live on air, her emotions were impossible to hide. She smiled through her tears, knowing how long and hard the journey had been. The viewers felt it too. Her joy became theirs.
It's very good news. That's great.
Thank you. I know I still can't quite believe it myself, really, but yes, very, very happy.
You're going to be a very good parent.
Embarrassing slip-ups.
And then somebody has just said, can you ask Peter if he's umpiring a cricket match straight after Lucknow?
Yes, you can go on.
That is
the problem. I've got nothing to say. No, I could see it a mile off. Just get it out of your system.
It was a cringeworthy moment live on air when BBC Look North presenter suddenly read out a viewer's email, and it was anything but polite. As the words left his mouth, the presenter immediately realized what had happened. His face turned bright red, trying to recover while the awkwardness hung in the air. The viewers could feel his discomfort, but everyone couldn't help but laugh at how real and relatable the moment was. We've all had our share of embarrassing slip-ups, but this one was definitely unforgettable.
I don't...
No, hang on.
Now here's a moment that truly stuns you. Indian anchor Supreet Kaur was delivering breaking news about a serious highway incident. When it slowly hit her, the details matched her husband's travel route. She stayed calm, kept reading the teleprompter, and held it together like a pro. But behind the screen, she had already pieced it together. Viewers had no clue what she was processing live on air. The minute the cameras cut, she reportedly broke down. That's the kind of strength that doesn't come with training. It comes from love, focus, and pure courage. It's one thing to report a major story, but it's another to live through it while the whole country watches. Sometimes, the hardest part of the job isn't what you say. It's what you have to hold back. See you next time.